chance to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. This is what we expected. There are no secrets in conference play. They know you, you know them, and there's always a little trickle of bad blood here and there, particularly when both teams are ranked as these two are in this one. Welcome between the hedges to Athens, Georgia and Sanford Stadium, home of the Georgia Bulldogs. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on the fourth-ranked team in the land, the Georgia Bulldogs. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer alongside. Guys, we can't wait to see this game. Been looking forward to it all week. Georgia about to kick it off to get us underway. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. The sweet feet buy a little time. And the pressure.
Just a man. I mean, he sets the tone in this defense. We saw it on that play right there. Reminds me a lot of the guy standing beside me, David Pollack, who really set the bar for great D-line play at Georgia. I think back to two guys I played against, Richard Seymour and Marcus Stroud, lining up beside each other on the inside of that D-line. That was an absolute nightmare to go up against.
Gotta love this play call early in the football game. Like the quarterback, get in a rhythm, run a screen play, get it to a playmaker, create some space, move the sticks, get a first down. Nice start for this offense.
Scanning the field, it's Mateer. He wants to go deep. And trying to put points on the board on third down. Now they're staring at fourth down.
Well, This defense was ready for go balls. Against this receiver and his speed, he's one of the fastest in the country. They knew this quarterback was going to try to take the top off the defense. That time they couldn't link up, but if you're on defense, just know they're going to try that play again.
He's got great speed. Smashes him with the stiff arm. He just about took that one to the house. They finally bring him down, but when you have a return like that, it pretty much eats up everything gained by the punt. Great place to start for this offense. They'll move the wide receiver. Gonna run it. It's Frazier. Nose is ahead to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 1.
Run game is good. Balance is good. Now, listen, if the run game isn't good, then you got to pass the football a little bit more. But sometimes you got to keep them honest, take them chunk by chunk.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Rides the back and leaves it on the option. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're trying to get that run play going to the outside, but it's the defensive end who does a great job winning his one-on-one and forcing the negative play.
Now facing a 3rd and long. The play action fake. Throws to the tight end. Catch in the middle. It's Belt. Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the first down.
And it's on 3rd downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big fella, and they're able to hook up there.
They'll run it on 1st and goal. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
The best running backs are the guys that can just sniff out the end zone. That running back showed you all of his freakish ability on that play.
And the extra point makes it 7-0. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And he got into the house from the 6 to finish it. He'll bring it out. It's Sategna. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. We'll see what they can do on this drive that starts at the 16-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. A strike downfield. A little more space, open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30. Just the ability to move the chains, keep the drive going, sort of quintessential efficiency from a Sooner quarterback.
Yeah, and from a Sooner offense because, Reese, they keep the drive going, but what does that do? Most Oklahoma teams over the years, we see them go fast, and they wear you down throughout a football game. So the quarterback play on those completions that move the sticks, that make you play 3 more plays, 4 more plays, 5 more plays, and just wear you out.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw, it's Mateer. Pressure coming. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. And now let's see if the offense can bail itself out after the 2nd down misfire. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. A little screen to the running back. No siree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
Well, they try to spit it out to the running back on the perimeter of the field. You saw the speed and recognition by the defense, though. How quickly they were able to get to the back and get him down for a big loss.
On 4th down, trying to find his man. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. desperately wanted to keep the ball, but they did not. This offense has it with really good field position. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. And they won't make the connection going for the big play.
I know the offense came into this game expecting to have some success throwing the football, and right after getting a takeaway right outside of the red zone, they try to do just that. The one-on-one matchups are going to be there in this game. That time, though, the defense did a better job making a play, forcing the incompletion.
Single back formation, and they give it to him. Picks up the first down, still moving. And he'll finish the run in the end zone. Touchdown, Dogs!
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
The kick is up and good, and put one more on the lead. They got the ball in great field position, and bam, bam, 2 plays and into the end zone. Oh, look at Mr. Hands taking the squibber inside the 30. There to make the tackle, and that's how we'll wrap up this first period. Big turning point as we head into the second and get this game rolling again. So after the break, they'll go back to work. They'll try the run. Nice stiff arm there, but the defense still able to stop him for a short gain.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time.
Oh, it's out! Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover.
Nice heads-up play by the defense to jump on that ball after it got popped out.
And Georgia ready to go back to work on offense. They've already put a couple of scores up, and they look to add to it on this drive. Using his legs, it's Frazier. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. And the Bulldogs now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. Give to the running back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Man, how about that defense? On the snap, they are in the backfield with great penetration. Nowhere to go for the running back. That defense was sitting on G, waiting on O.
On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Well, this is a disappointing drive for the offense, considering where this drive started in their opponent territory. Now you're 4th and long. You've got to be better throwing the football in those types of situations.
Can you believe this? The offense is going for it on 4th down. Quarterback making checks. On 4th down, they'll throw for it. They got him. It's a sack, and what a stop for this defense to turn it over on downs.
Tell you what, coaches catch heat a lot nowadays, especially on social media. I expect him to catch a lot of heat. 4th down, long yardage situation on your own territory, and you want to go for it, and you fail, and you're surprised. You definitely shouldn't be surprised. Just don't check your mentions, dog.
They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
This offense has really struggled, and I think you're just waiting for one play, one explosive play to happen to hopefully galvanize you a bit offensively. That's not the case, and there they try to run the football in the first play of the drive, and it gets absolutely blown up for a loss.
He was not fooled on that one. You know, a lot of times you want to buy space, and you throw this route really when it's off coverage. But you could tell the cornerback was up, ready to come, pounce on that screen, and get the tackle from us.
The Dogs are barking and growling and trying to hold him here on 3rd down. Pulls it in. It's up. Turning it on. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. They're in field goal range here on fourth down, but they're going to keep this offense on the field. On fourth down, they'll try to throw it. They got him for the sack, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
And I tell you what, you see this a lot. Fourth down, I'm putting pressure on the quarterback. The defense brings the blitz. They have no answer. Nice job being aggressive on a big fourth down.
The give to the tailback. Continuing to turn and move it forward, and they're closing in on midfield. It's down at the 48. And here comes the offense on second down. They'll move the tight end. Out of the gun, the inside handoff to the running back. And he's able to shed one tackle, but still just a very short gain.
And those plays from a defensive perspective, man, they're just super annoying because now I'm in the worst spot ever. Third and manageable. Like, I don't know if you're passing, don't know if you're running. So nice job by this offense keeping this defense off balance and creating a third down opportunity that's in their favor.
The Dogs come to the line with a new set of downs. Motion from the wideout. He'll take it himself.
Man, that quarterback can go. Just another guy in another system all across college football. All quarterbacks nowadays, they got so much speed, it's ridiculous.
Man, I'm telling you, that has to be exhausting for the defensive lineman trying to chase down guys like that.
It's silly because even when it's a...
Intercepted. Big play stops the drive.
What a nice catch by the defensive back. Listen, a lot of times you see DBs get in position to make plays, but there's a reason they play DB and not wide receiver. Great job finishing the interception, catching the ball, making a big play.
Coming out on first down with the play fake. Picked off. What a play to set him up. He'll try to take it back. Touchdown, Georgia. What momentum you get when the defense comes up with a play like that. Look, a lot of time left. There's a little bit of distance right now being put on the scoreboard.
There is, but it's so awesome when you're a defense and you study all week about what's coming and what routes to be ready for, and then you jump the route and you make the plays and you just go get in that end zone. It is so beautiful.
He'll bring it out. It's Sategna. I imagine he's going to get an earful on the sideline after bringing it out of the end zone and being knocked down at the 11. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. Looking to throw, it's Mateer. Fires on the move. And they took a shot on that one, but couldn't make the connection. It's incomplete.
I love that play call by the offensive coordinator. Your quarterback just threw a pick six. You want to pick him right back up, right? So don't handcuff him. On the very first play of the next drive, let him throw the football to try to reestablish a rhythm and reestablish some confidence. Obviously, that one falls incomplete, but they need to get this guy.
He's looking deep. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on second down, and they'll be left with a third down.
I think sometimes as a quarterback, when your offense is struggling, you don't have any points up on the board yet here at the end of the first half. You're just trying to take a shot to see if your guy can make a play. And that time, he thought he had the matchup he wanted, but he has just not been able to ever find a rhythm. And this defense is making it really hard on him, forcing that one to fall incomplete.
Under fire. For the third straight play, the pass falls incomplete.
Offense couldn't get anything going in rhythm there. They're just trying to give themselves some space and couldn't come up with a completion on third down. Looks like they're going to be punting.
Can you believe this? The offense is going for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Oh, he's ready to take a shot. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover.
Well, that's a huge moment here in the game at the end of the 1st half because the offense is trying to march down the field. They're trying to cut into the opponent's lead. But with that interception and with that return, the defense now, they've put their team in an opportunity to pad their lead with more points here at the end of the 1st half.
Unloads it left. Complete downfield. What a play there, and he rips off a big one all the way to the 16-yard line. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call. Uga trying to make this red zone trip pay off. Off play action on 1st down. He's guided out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Nice job by the defense. You got to dial into your keys. You got to make sure you're reading those guys up front. They did a good job. They saw it. They pulled the trigger. They knew the quarterback had it. They weren't fooled. Strung it out. Did a nice job of limiting the damage with that QB run.
Finds his big tight end. Ripping through the defense. He's run out of bounds, but they've got it now 1st and goal.
All right, defense. It ain't working, right? They're stringing together several 1st downs here. We're going to need to change this up, find something we can disrupt the quarterback and mess up this offense a little bit.
Looking for the goal line. That completion has them right on the doorstep. They'll mark it at the 1. Georgia comes quickly to the line. Lets it go to the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs! Quick strike through the air for the score.
And we are officially in blowout mode. This offense has been up and down the field. We've seen so many explosive plays, and they score.
No position in American sports feels the pressure or the weight on their shoulders like a quarterback. Hopes and dreams of an entire fan base of teams ride on whether their signal caller can lead them to glory. And boy, what a matchup of two elite dudes we have in this one. Welcome everyone to Williams-Brice Stadium, home of the South Carolina Gamecocks. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on the 12th-ranked team in the land, the South Carolina Gamecocks. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. The Sooners will kick it away to start us off. Looks as if the returner will try and field this one. Didn't find any crease in that. Coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Firing to the right, complete. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. Well, he comes up with the reception, but not a lot of room to run after that.
Yeah, and I like the QB doing this. I mean, I'm going to find ways to give him the football and see if he can make a miss. And I'm going to bet most of the time that my guy is a little bit more athletic than that defensive guy. Defense won this battle, but I like trying to get this guy the ball in space.
Looking to pass. It's Sellers. Quickly complete. Oh, he's got some space. Gets it out to the 27-yard line, and they'll move the chains for a first down. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. Motion from the wide receiver. Wants to go up top on first down. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
What a hit by the defender. That's a good throw, and that was going to be caught, but how about the defender dislodging the football from its intended target? Nice job.
This time he's got it. Discards him with the stiff arm. And the explosiveness, the big gainer, gets it to the 49-yard line.
This tight end's a weapon because he can give you yak after the catch. You see him break that tackle? That was pretty impressive, showing off his athleticism.
With the catch, it's Harbor. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33. And the Gamecocks are in the hurry-up. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. The Gamecocks have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Oh, they're after him. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot.
And how about that? That's already the 3rd target this guy has had on the opening drive of the game. He is a big factor for their success throwing the football. He's got to win the matchups. Even though that one goes incomplete, they got to keep throwing him the ball.
Dropping back, it's Sellers. Here's a heat. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. And now this offense will try to figure out a way to move the chains after that 2nd down incompletion. Extending the play. And into the end zone he goes. Touchdown Gamecocks!
And that is what a team of this caliber is expected to do, right? They've got the better number beside their name by all the metrics, by a talent standpoint, coaching standpoint. They're the superior team, and they just drove the ball in the first possession of the game, and they looked like it, scoring a touchdown and asserting their dominance.
Coming out with it, it's Sategna. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. This is what we expected. This crowd ready to make its presence known. Off the play fake on first down. Dances away to buy time. Reels it in down the left side. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. And the defense stops him just short of the first down. Maybe needed a few more chain links to move the sticks. This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. And the Sooners will move the sticks with the first down. A great Oklahoma running attack will bring a tear to the Boomer Sooner Nation eye, thinking of guys like Billy Sims.
And where it all started was always the ground game and the toughness, and you never question that. In Oklahoma, they got to get to that. They got to be that. They got to live that if they really want to build on what they used to.
Slippery slide, find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma!
Yards after catch. That's what this guy gives you. That was a simple slant pass. He caught it, made guys miss, showed you the speed, and it was pay dirt from there. What can you say about this guy's athleticism, man? He is such a weapon.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. Wide receiver going in motion. To the air. It's Sellers. Got it set up on the outside. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. They'll go to work in the air on second down. That, friends, is a busted play. Incomplete.
Unfortunate with that incompletion. The quarterback and his intended target not on the same page.
After the second down misfire, looking at a 3rd and 8. Might be calling a hot route. They'll send the tight end in motion. 3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. He's got an open man. Really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line. Now, this is the way to come out of the gate and set the tone. Back and forth and already inside a minute to go in the first. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Showing the arm strength down the left side. Underneath toasted coverage. Got it deep downfield. That is exactly what you want to do with the football. He's got it all the way down to the 15-yard line. They'll throw it from the red zone. Trying to hit him with a quick game on first down, and nothing doing there. And the Gamecocks with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. To the air on second down. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
And the QB has had a nice drive, and this offense has been throwing the football all over the yard. You want to stop that? Get pressure on him. Nice job getting to the quarterback, affecting him, and even better, getting him on the ground.
They'll run the option. Oh, there's a loose football on the bad pitch. It's as if that ball had a magnet going back to the offense. How in the world did they keep it? That first quarter set the standard, and we hope we get a lot more of that here in the second. The Gamecocks will try to move the sticks on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Touchdown, South Carolina! Grabbed in the end zone to put 6 on the board.
Hey, when everything else is covered, sometimes you just got to look to the big fella. I mean, it might not be the right matchup, but I got the size, I can throw it to him, and he rewards you with the score.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. So it's an 80-yard drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it out. It's Sategna. Good job by the coverage unit to stop the return man. First snap of this drive will come from inside the 15 at their own 14-yard line. He'll pull it on the read. Big time play by the defense. He'll lose 4.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short gain there and still plenty of ground to cover for the first down. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Crows, they are getting cocky and cockier on third down here. And you want to know what impact home field advantage can have? There it is. The offense will walk it back. They've got them pinned deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. On third and long, he'll need to push it downfield. Unloads to the wideout. Soft spot in the middle. Really good job making a play, getting it out to the 24 and moving those chains.
And listen, the defense knew coming into this one, they were going to target him early and often. He is a weapon, and there's no mystery where the quarterback's going to be looking on critical down and distances. Let's see how they're able to cover him throughout the rest of this game.
The Sooners want to move quickly.
And so many things have to come together perfectly for a screen to work for big yardage. And they were close. You could tell that almost busted, but they just got wrapped up, got a little bit of yardage, but they really wanted that one to be a big game.
They'll try to move the chains on the ground. The Sooners will move the sticks.
That is how it's done on third down and short. No doubt about it. An easy hole to get through and clearly get the first down.
If you really want to simplify football, the low man wins. That time the offense got the better of the D. Easily picked that up.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Back to pass, it's Mateer. Throws to the wideout. Makes the grab. At the 45 on his way. He's loose on the right. Touchdown Sooners. He got loose, and it was lights out after that.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge, and also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
Let's see what he can do with the return. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Wide receiver comes in motion. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. We'll take a quick break here. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Kept it on the ground last time, bringing up a second down. Tight end now in motion. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. They come to the line facing 3rd and long from the 25. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Can you believe this? The offense is going for it on 4th down. Wants to adjust the pattern. On 4th down, they're taking to the air. He uncorks one deep. Fires and picked off. Just a small return, but a big play as they have it now at the 45.
And you wonder if that interception is going to bring this guy back down to reality a little bit. He was lights out early in this game. Everything he was throwing was right on the money, and that might have been a decision where he got a little bit greedy, and David, the defense made him pay.
And this defense has seen it time and time. They've been throwing the football, having success. Nice job adjusting, breaking on the football, making a play. They needed to break serve. They needed something to happen to go their way to kind of mess this guy's rhythm up. That might be the start of it.
Looking to throw, it's Mateer. Time to take a shot. He's got it inside the 25. And he ran away from the defense to take it in. Touchdown, Oklahoma!
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
And here's the return. And the returner runs out of real estate as he goes down. This drive will open from the 15. Starts a drive trying to go up top. Makes the grab on the left. Look out, he's got room. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a 1st down. And the Gamecocks racing to the line in the hurry-up. The offense changing the play. Looking downfield on 1st down. He unleashes a long one. Snags it down the right side. And he'll ramble to the 34 before he's finally knocked down. Wants to throw on 1st down. Fires to the middle. Finds a man on the left. He found his man and zipped it in there, and they've got a 1st down in the red zone at the 11. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the 1st half. To throw, it's Sellers. Got it! He's down at the 1, and they almost had the touchdown pass on that one. And this offense will have to feel pretty good about itself if it can tie the game before halftime. 1st and goal. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? They'll move the wide receiver. Into the end zone, and he will score! Touchdown, Gamecocks!
Great job of execution in the passing game. QB and his target on the exact same page. The extra point now is going to tie this thing up. And they've got some real momentum here heading in at halftime.
And he knocked that one right down the middle. And after the extra point was good, it's even Steven here in the 2nd quarter. Fielded in the end zone. It's Tatum. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he'd just taken a knee in the end zone. Inside 30 seconds to play in the half. We'll see how aggressive they are on this drive. Looking to throw on first down. And they can't make the connection, going for a big play on first down.
Well, the offense is doing their best to try and at least get into field goal range here at the end of the first half. So they take a vertical shot down the field, but give the defense credit. Lots of eyes back there on the quarterback. They're able to break on the...
Going to take a shot at this DB. The pass falls incomplete, and there are 8 seconds left.
This is going to be a tough situation for the offense here. Late in the first half, they're trying to find a way to generate some points before going into the locker room, but the defense is ready for it. So the windows are not going to be very big, especially when you're trying to attack vertically like they did on that last one. Down.
He's going for the big play. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. So the first half has come to a close. We'll take a break and head over to the halftime show. The Gamecocks will line up to kick off and start the second half. Oh, look at Mr. Hands taking the squibber inside the 30. They get him stopped, but he found a couple of cracks in that cover team and gets it out to the 43. So the first play of the drive will come from the 43. Going to the run to start this second half.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough. But how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Back to throw, it's Mateer. Moves around to clear up the vision. Good little pickup there as he saw some daylight and got what he could.
Welcome to the frustrating reality of college football. Like, the guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him every single play.
They'll try to run for it. Breaks into the open. Really good surge for this offense. They move the chains, and he's got it at the 34.
And that is exactly why you stick to running the football. Haven't had a lot of success, but boom, you pop one, right? That's what you got to do. You cannot become one-dimensional and just throw the football every down. Love the offense, sticking to the run. Nice job getting the first down.
To the air on first down. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
A 6-yard pickup that leaves them with 3rd and 4.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all run after the catch. So pretty easy for a QB.
You wouldn't have been the only All-American in this booth, David, if I were allowed to have push passes when I was playing quarterback. I'll tell you that. It is so hard to defend. It's so hard to seal that edge, especially when this guy's full speed ahead coming around the outside.
What a nice job to get through your progressions and find your man open on the drag.
And you can't do that without good protection up front.
Throws toward the end zone. And he can't quite make the connection as he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity.
What a play by the defender there, guys. In his own end zone, the offense has taken a shot, and if that defender was just one step behind, that would have been a touchdown. But the hit forces the incompletion.
The run from the shotgun. Picked up maybe a yard. It's down at the 16. Third down. Red zone play. Crowd Looking for a man. It's Mateer. Quarterback strolling away from heat. Oh, he's going to be brought down. A huge loss on the play.
There's always such a fine line between playmaking and being reckless, right? Like right there, at some point, that becomes reckless. And you take yourself out of scoring position where you guaranteed to possibly get 3 points. Now you're fighting a totally different battle.
On 4th down, going to the air. Lets it fly deep downfield. Touchdown Sooners! And with that, they've got the lead here in the second half.
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line. They'll give it to the back. Just gets it to the 28, pickup of 1.
I like the decision there in the RPO game too, guys. I know he only got a couple of yards, but that play's going to open up bigger opportunities throwing the football down the field in the RPO game too. So keep handing it off to this guy. Let him see what he can do. And when the defense gives you the look to hold the football and then finally throw it, that's when you take advantage.
They'll snap it on 1st down from the 35. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Still looking, on the move. Takes the easy throw in the flat. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Past the 1st down marker and still running. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. They'll go back to work with a 1st down in the final period. Quarterback making adjustments. To the air, it's Sellers. Going for the big play. And they weren't able to make the connection. They were looking for an explosive play.
Oftentimes as a quarterback, when you have success early, you earn the right to take more shots. I think that's what you're seeing now in this game. We're here late. They're still throwing it deep because this quarterback's thrown 3 touchdown passes. He's proven to his coach that he can get it done and he can make the right decisions and not put his offense in harm's way. And that's why you're still seeing them throw it vertically downfield.
Quarterback keeps it. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
The whole point of running the quarterback on these designed runs is to get an extra blocker. You should be getting more movement up front, but that time, guys were getting knocked backwards, and as a result, they actually lost a yard.
Off play action. He slings it deep to the left. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. This quarterback desperately wants to make a chunk play, but they're going to be deep as the deepest, wide as the widest. He's got to be patient.
No doubt. Situational football is probably one of the most underrated, untalked about things, like understanding the situation. I have the lead. They have
trying to get behind the defense. Hauls it in easily enough for the 1st down. Touchdown, Gamecocks! He broke away from the defense, and they couldn't catch him.
How about the bomb? The Hail Mary coming out, and the offense executes it great. They throw the ball deep. Where's the defense? Man, you know this ball is going deep. You know they need it. They got to have it. And the defense just doesn't play great, doesn't get to the football to make a play.
Oh, look at Mr. Hands taking the squibber inside the 30. They finally get him stopped after he maneuvered his way to the 42. They'll start this drive from the 42. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. Just another big play for this guy who spent the entire game wide open, couple of touchdowns there, and he moves the sticks again, David.
Yeah, so I'll keep finding him, Reese. I mean, this is a guy that, listen, we're in the second half now. He's already made plays. I know I can trust him, so I'm going to continue to feature him in this offense because I know he'll continue to make big plays.
Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call.
I just love the way the defense prepares. Each and every week we see this defense come out, and it's like 11 guys, they've got their head in the game, and they're playing as one unit. They knew it was going to be tough facing this option game with the quarterback and the running attack, but they've just done such a good job so far staying home, playing their assignments. You saw it on that last play, right?
And the defense gets home and makes a play at the 37-yard line.
And quite simply put, you don't see that happen very often against him. He is one of not just the best quarterbacks in the game, he's one of the best players in the game. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate that oftentimes...
He's going for a big play downfield. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
Well, they're not able to hook up there, but considering this guy already has 2 touchdown catches in this game, now the offensive coordinator is dialing up more passes his way. And you know the quarterback, he's got like a sonar on him. He's always aware of where he is, and I like the idea. I'm going to keep throwing this guy the football and see if he can get another touchdown.
A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. Rams him with the stiff arm. He'll step out of bounds right at the 44. A big time pickup on that one. Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. He'll keep it himself. And he'll pick up 1. It brings up 2nd and 9.
And if they're going to run the football late in the game in this situation, not that close to scoring zone, they've got to take a timeout here. You've got to make sure you save as much time as possible and communicate with your quarterback.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. From the gun, running back on the move. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run.
Man, I'm going to be curious to see this offense down the stretch. That's back-to-back runs. This is a pivotal part of the game. We're in the 4th quarter. Like, what are they going to lean on? What weapon are they going to go to find a way to get across the finish line?
All knotted up and just a little bit of time left in regulation. Off the RPO, fire right, trying to convert. That's a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play. Gotta have it here on 4th down. Makes the catch. It's Brown. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Timeout called by the offense. Clock stopped with 21 seconds left.
And they've trusted their QB to throw the football. And he's going to have to make plays. He's made plays throughout the day. This is now when you come up clutch in a big moment when your team needs it. If that's any indication, I like what I'm seeing.
And the Gamecocks come to the line with a fresh set of downs. He wants to change this route. Looking downfield, it's Sellers. Rushes on him. Complete to the right. They are finding soft spots in this defense. He's got it down to the 25. The Gamecocks in the hurry-up. The defense uses the timeout, and we are down to 11 seconds left to play. The offense down to the 25 now, 1st and 10. An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time. That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. After the flag, 1st and 15 for this offense. They'll move the tight end. Wants to go up top. He's got him wide open. Touchdown, South Carolina. They move on top here in the 4th.
Big-time players make big plays in big games. Coming up with that touchdown with just seconds left in this game now gives them an opportunity to hit the extra point and make it a touchdown game, and there might be 2 more plays left. The kickoff, maybe 1 more snap to the opponent. What a massive play in a big moment.
Oh, look at Mr. Hands taking the squibber inside the 30. And the return man showing great vision to be able to find some space and put his team in much better field position. In search of that tying touchdown. They've moved the chains a couple of times. It's 1st and 10 again. Back to throw. It's Mateer. Pocket breaking down. And down he goes. Had a chance to pull one out of the fire, and the defense slammed the brakes on it, and that's going to do it. What a show both of these teams put on today. Couple of outstanding squads. Hotly contested battle all the way to the very end.
Yeah, we came into this one expecting this to be a back-and-forth battle. We knew it was going to go down late into the 4th quarter. At the end of the day, the higher-ranked team, David, they were really able to lean on those playmakers and that leadership they've got in the locker room.
Yeah, and now I think even more so, you're starting to believe in them. They're battle-tested. This team they find a way to get things done. That's why they're ranked where they're at, and I expect this team to stay in contention for the college football playoff because they're proving week in and week out they're a really good squad.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.